Well, anyway, I first met you back when I was probably 18 years old. I was working at a magic shop, and the owner of the magic shop knew that I was just enamored, over the moon. I don't know what you want to say. I was head over heels in love with magic. And he wrote you a letter or an email or something and just said, "Hey, I got this young kid. Do you have anything you can send him?" I don't know what the letter said. I just know he reached out to you. And you sent me a care package with pictures and posters and coloring pages and memorabilia and cutouts from newspapers and magazine articles of magicians. And I just went through this stuff, and I don't know. I don't want to say it was nothing for you, but it was everything to me. And that stuff still sits in my magic room. Some of your stuff was in prominent display in my magic room, and I walk by it every single day. You had a poster that said Rob and Carol Allen, the Very Dairy Magician, and you had some stuff explaining the Dairy Farmers Association, like a pamphlet, and you had Pogs, those little cardboard $50 cutouts with Rob and Carol Allen, and I had that in a place of prominence, so I saw your face every day of my life for the past, 20 years. And you've really influenced me, although we hardly know each other. I mean, we've only talked on the phone a couple times in the past year. Other than that, I don't know that we ever talked beforehand.
No, and we've never met. That's the strange thing about it. You never know something that you do, how it's going to touch someone. You know that through performance. But even with something like this, I don't remember sending that package out, but I have sent things to people in the past. And sometimes if I'm selling something or mailing something out to somebody, I'll include a whole bunch of little things and just say, "Here's some fun things for you to look at." Who was the magic dealer? I don't even remember that.
It was a magic shop in Charlottesville. The guy's name was
Okay.
Peter.
Oh, okay.
But I'm telling you, Rob, I learned about the Very Dairy Magician and the whole thing. The posters, the magic coloring pages, everything. I mean, it was just, it was awesome, because back then it was hard for me to get memorabilia. I had no money. I couldn't afford, going back and going to an auction and I didn't know magic auctions existed when I was 18. So it's either what I buy in the magic shop or that's it. So getting all these clips, newspaper article clippings and everything, it was awesome. And and I held on to the Very Dairy Magician story, which I had a constant reminder my whole life. And that's what helped me get my first sponsorship with VidHit. So that's why I called you, last year or 4 years ago and told you, and we've been friends on Facebook and everything.
Sure.
But can you tell the audience about your Very Dairy Magician contract? I mean, just what that entailed?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I can tell you about that. We, Carol and I have worked for the dairy industry here in Western New York. This year coming up, 2021, we're already approved for our dates for 2021. So in 1977, we were working on cruise ships, and we were working as an opening act, and we did a lot of traveling. And I said to Carol, we have to come home and see if we can do something locally so that we can stay home and buy a house. And we wanted to have a family. And so I approached the Western New York dairy farmers. I wrote them a letter. And I remember seeing them. They promoted they had a puppet show that promoted dairy, a marionette show. And I remember seeing that as a kid at my elementary school. So I said, let me see if I can write to these people, and maybe they would be interested in me doing a nutrition-themed magic show. And 3 or 4 months went by, and I got a phone call from the secretary at Milk for Health, which is the name of the company that promotes milk here. And we set a date. I went down. I made a presentation to them, and they listened. I got up. I walked out. I was going to get on the elevator and leave, and the secretary called me back in and said they want to talk to you. So the president of Milk for Health said, these people are dairy farmers. The people who are on the board of directors and the officers are actual dairy farmers. He said, we liked what you had to say, and you go ahead, young man. And he stuck his hand out, And I shook his hand, and he said, "You go ahead and do that for us." And for 45 years, I have had no contract, just a handshake. And every year what I do is I make a proposal with what I want to do for that year, and I send it into them, and they have a board meeting, and they, for 45 years, they've said yes. So
Wow.
this will be our 45th year coming up with the same corporate sponsors. I think it's the longest running corporate sponsored magic show on earth, continuous.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, finding out about the Dairy Magician and just having that in the back of my mind, I carried it all the way through college. And after graduating with a marketing degree in college, I had it in the back of my mind. But who do I don't know the Dairy Farmers Association. I don't know how to get a dairy farmer down here. I'm not going to try to steal your gig, but I'm thinking of it. What do I do? How do I? I'm always thinking of it. And I met a guy that worked for Pepsi Cola Bottling Company, and he ended up being the vice president of the company. Pepsi used to sell franchises, and this was a local-owned franchise of Pepsi.
Right.
And I said, "Hey, what about doing school shows, and I can do Pepsi-themed magic tricks?" He said, "Oh, well, you can't do that nowadays because it's sugar water, and you're not allowed to have Pepsi in schools. But we have this product called VitHit, which is a vitamin water that's coming from Ireland, and I'll talk to you when they get here, and we can have a meeting." And I went in there and told them, "Hey, look, we do 400 shows a year. I can use liquid magic in my show. You can be my sponsor." Done. So they gave me product. They gave me a monthly paycheck, and they took care. They re-lettered my van and trailer. They gave us T-shirts. They gave us merchandise to give away at shows. I mean, they gave us so much and took care of us. And that's when I originally called you and just thanked you. I was like, man,
Wow.
This would not have happened if it wasn't for you.
Wow. Well, see, just having that material that somehow got you through that magic shop that had, some information about what I do, like Natalie said, was inspirational to you. And it takes a special person to be able to take that and then make it into something, and that's what you've done. So I congratulate you on that.
Well, now VitHit, it got hurt thank you. But VitHit got hurt in the COVID crisis. So they pretty much just let go of me, and okay, well, I love you guys. Sorry. I have to move on though. It's just business. So other people were like, "Oh, bad feelings." It's not like a breakup with a girl. No, it's like a commercial on television. It doesn't last forever. Right. Marketing campaigns don't last. Yours did. You're the rare case.
It is, and it's very rare. And I don't know what to tell you except that we always took it year from year. And if I could be in the position that I am right now, looking back, I'll tell you, it was a nail biter for 35 years or 30 years. One, like maybe it would be 2 weeks after we sent in our proposal and we didn't hear anything.
Wow.
And then you're like waiting, and you're going, "Oh, did they decide not to do it this year?" I mean, we just took it from year to year. And I can remember being in my 30s and thinking, "Will we make it to the end?" And to me, the end would be getting your Social Security and having your Medicare, taking care of your health care. And we made it to that. Both Carol and I made it to that. And even though we're both at an age where we could retire, I don't see any reason why we would, because it's still fun, like you say.
Well,
it gives you something to look forward to. You love doing it. And look at the joy that you bring to people. You make people laugh, and you never know what someone's day is like, and you're out there and you're making them laugh, and when they leave, they're talking and happy, and that's the wonderful thing about doing what we do, being in the business that we're in.
I told Natalie if I hit the lottery, I said, I don't care how much money we hit. If we hit $1 billion in the lottery, I would still be doing magic. And she said, well, do we still have to do 400 shows a year? No, honey, but I'm still doing magic. I don't care. It's just one of those things. There's nothing like it.